Welcome back, and this is the magazine segment. Now, as we cross over to the next quarter of the year, there is a great degree of self-evaluation that we all engage in, with questions like, how far am I in my agenda? How much have I made in the golden two? Can I make up for lost time? Where did the time go? Time is of the essence. The chariot of greatness does not wait for the unsure. How then can we tap into our point of greatness to realize success? And to discuss this and more with me in studio is Bonnie Kim. He was with us last time, and I want to say a big congratulations to him, as last time he was engaged to be married, but right now he is married. Welcome to studio.
Thank you so much.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm very much okay.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it's a big pleasure to have you with us, and again, congratulations. And last time we touched on your book called Born Without a Choice, and today we want to platform another book that you have published. You'll tell us the name. You have it with you right here.
Yeah.
And of course, you know, share with us what inspired you to write about this book, and what did you want people to get from it in particular?
Yeah, my book is The Greatest Secret. And what inspired me about the book, when writing the book, is that I realized that so many people today, they are seeking, we want to be successful, we want better life, we want to have more, have better friends, but you're looking it from the wrong side. I came to realize that this life is all about what is within, the treasure is within. So I realized that I need to come up with solutions so that most people are able to understand that everything that we are looking out there is within us. And you must first find it within, so that you may attract it from without.
That is very, very deep. And this is the second book of 4 sets of books that you've written, and your books are about self-help. What drives you to write about, you know, books in such genre? Why did you choose to go into self-help?
I realized that if people can beware, then their world will be better. So that means if people can be able to realize the treasure that are within them, then they can be able to live successful life, because life is not about on the outside, it's all about in the inside. Because if you're better on the inside, then you'll be a better leader out there. If you're better in yourself, then you can have a better family. If you're better in yourself, you can learn anything successful. So life is all about within. So that's why I majorly focus on personal development and motivation, because if people are motivated enough so as to motivate themselves, then they will have a better life, and we have a better nation and better world.
Okay. And what is your interpretation of success?
Success, I say success is a progressive realization of a worthy ideal, meaning it's something you do better. You ask yourself, where did I go wrong today? Where can I upgrade? So it's a path that you cannot stop and say, I have reached, I'm successful today, because you must make sure that you're adding something to yourself so that you do better things than you are doing them yesterday, and you learn from the mistakes.
Okay. And what inspired you to write your recent book, of course, rather not, let me not say recent, brother, your second book in your 4 sets of books, this one in particular called The Greatest Secret. What inspired you to write this book? What
inspired to write this book is about, we human beings have much treasure within, but we find people are much discouraged, in despair, looking for things they lost in the past, instead of looking for brilliant future that is ahead of them, because no one has ever lived this day. We just waken up now. So there is much treasure that is awaiting, but if we keep regretting on that, then we're going to miss the opportunities of today. So The Greatest Secret, I was inspired so that people can focus ahead and know that they are better today, and this day maybe they can make it their best day.
Okay. Now, things like money and wealth are things, of course, we'd want to have, and that's what we work towards. You know, you want to have a better life, you want to have a better future, of course, for yourself, for your kids, for your family, for your spouse. You know, you just want to live this better life. But sometimes you can find that that goal becomes a bit superficial. Like, you're more driven to get that money and that wealth more than anything else. You just want to get the success and get whatever comes with it, but nothing, these other things really don't matter. So in our quest for self-actualization, for success, how do we keep up that negative path of almost crossing overboard into, you know, just gaining that constant thing of, I just want money, I want money, I don't want anything else, money is my aim.
One of the things that we miss is that we human beings tend to live 50% of our life making money. And do you know what happened next? We spend the other next 50% of our life using the money in our health, sorting the issues that we neglected.
When you are trying to look for money.
When you are trying to look for money, because you find someone is working every hour, is working, waking hour, you find they are working. They are not their dad at their home, they are never their mother at their home. They are always not knowing that even if, no matter which profession you are in, you can be replaced within 3 minutes, but at your work. But in your home, you never be replaced. You're never going to have a same dad. You're never going to have a same husband or same wife. So that means, as much as we want to make money, we must run to balance. Balance your family, your spiritual life, and also the society at large, because we must give back to the society. So at the end of the day, we must make money that you're going to be happy at the end of the day, that we grew a balanced life, because that's what most people in the whole world, they are lacking. They are never living a balanced life. Money.
It's either an extreme.
Is an extreme, yeah. Go, I can pay for vacation, but I won't be there. So it's not a vacation at the end of the day. So
true.
Money is not everything.
Okay.
But once you run to balance, then you find you even be better by the money that you make, because you have time and money freedom, because people are not thinking about, do I have money or do I have both time and money freedom, because that's what gives you happiness.
I hope everyone at home has listened to that. I mean, we do that a lot in our society, especially these days when you're trying to enhance yourself and your career and you forget about other things which actually do matter. Now, Bonikem, one thing I do know about you is that you're very much inspired by your faith, by your spirituality, by the Bible. So what big part does spirituality rather bring in someone's quest for greatness?
One of the things that you find is that we have a source. You find if you start questioning yourself, where did our parents came from? You go back, then you realize that there is God. And the moment that you have God and your spirit is firm, then that means no storm can shake you. You fail today, but you know I have God. Because you just know that once you have God, then you're able to be firm, and even no matter what you're pursuing, whether it's financial matter or a emotional matter, you'll be able to overcome it more easily when you have God, because you are powerful, because you know the source, you know where you attach, even if, because one of the greatest problems that we make is that we attach ourselves to the things that we get. You get a car, you attach yourself. You lose that car, you lose yourself.
Right, exactly. You just lose your mind and you go crazy.
You get a home, that home means everything to you. That means if you lose that home, you lose yourself. And that's not should be the matter, because you should have life and have it in abundance. And that's the purpose of having God in our lives, because he says in John 10:10, I have come that may have life and have it abundantly. So that's the purpose of God in our life, because he wants us not just to have life, but have it in abundance, so that we may detach from the things that we get, but attach only to God. So that becomes powerful and becomes, our pillar cannot be shaken.
Okay. And when it comes to maximizing on our gifts and talents, and some people, well, they may not know exactly who they are, so they're trying to bring out their talents and, you know, I mean, God's gifts to them, to productiveness, but nothing really happens, because they're not sure, do I really like this, do I really like that, but they don't have a balance. But how do you encourage someone who's on that path of self-discovery? They're trying to discover who they are, what they want. How would you advise someone like that who is still trying to discover themselves, and which way is the best way to go to embark on that journey and discover who you are?
I'll share my experience. When I was growing up from class 7 to Form 1, my mom kept asking me, what do you want to do in life? And I answered one question. I said, Mom, I want to be a beautician. Of which, for all those 7 years, 6 years down the line, my mom had no other option, but I went to beauty school. And I did beauty, I did massage, I ran beauty therapy, I ran everything about, because I needed to see a beautiful world. People who are relaxed when they come from work, they go to massage. Ladies, they come from work, they are made beauty. But I came to realization after being born again that the beauty I was seeing is not from because people, how many people go to makeups, how many people go to massage? They are not happy. You find is that happiness is from within. So I say there is divine connection that comes the moment you receive God and able to see. This was what, because I was going to a world where I was able to see people who are beautiful, people who look handsome, people who are beautiful. But I came to realize that it was the other way around. There is something that you see you want to do because number one is money. But you find, in the divine way, you find that how am I going to come up with a solution that is going to help people, which I'll be happy with, because you'll not just be making money, you just be pleasing yourself. There will be an inner happiness and a treasure that will be stored within you. So you'll be both be happy and be rich, because the little you get, you are passionate about. So it's not about what do I want to do, it's about what can I do for others, that in the end I'll be happy and at the same time be able to get money.
Okay, I mean, that's very, very important. I'm happy you mentioned that. Now, many times we want to fit in. We want to be like how everyone else is like, because we find it so hard to be ourselves, because we find ourselves so different. So why is it so easy for people to just fit in into a certain way of living, a certain way of acting? Let's say I see Bonnie Kim likes wearing a red tie, and because I don't like red ties, but I'm seeing he's wearing and everyone else is wearing a red tie, I want to wear this red tie and just be like everyone else. Why is it so hard for people to be different? What is wrong with that?
Most people, they actually want to fit in the society. Yes, that is right, but the other side, it is wrong, because you can be me. Because in one way or another, we are made in uniqueness. And this uniqueness, I say, the word is like mosaic, meaning that if you all become the same, if you all became business people, who be the doctor out there when you become sick? Who be the mom there? If you all want to go into business, you don't want to be mama at home. So what I say is that you must have that courage, because REMMY, the distinguished psychiatrist, wrote a book, Man's Search for Himself, and he said that the opposite of courage in a society is not cowardice, it's conformity. Everyone to be like everyone else. And this is the problem that we're making the society today. We want to be like those celebrities that we see, but we don't realize that the greatest asset in this life and the greatest treasure in this world is becoming the person you are born to be, because that what
even the celebrities had to be themselves for you want to be like them. So everyone, like you said, everyone has a treasure, true.
Yeah, you have a treasure, and there is something that you can do better than anybody else in this world. There is a treasure within each and every human being that you see, whether they are able or disabled. You find that they have treasure within. There is something that God put within them that can make them brilliant, but simply because we just want to fit everybody, that's why we end up losing everybody. But the moment you are rejected, then when you achieve that talent that is within you, then the people come back. There are people who reject me when I was writing, but now after they see, oh, so he was serious, he has 4 books, then now is when they are coming back. But if I say,
after they show your uniqueness.
After if I just fit in, I say, they are complaining I can't write, and I just fit their sort, who would I be? I will be nothing. And that's why most people end up being nothing, because they want to fit everyone, which is impossible. You can't please everybody in this world. You must be yourself and start gaining friends who accept you after becoming who you're born to be, because at the end of the day, you have freedom with yourself, freedom in your thinking, and even your relating. You have a power of self-image in yourself even when you're walking.
Okay. Yeah. And in your book, you mentioned about visualizing a goal. How do you visualize a goal?
Yeah, visualizing is one of the greatest art I have learned in becoming the person that I am. And one of the things I've realized is that we need clarity. And clarity comes when you write something. You say, like, I want to have 4 books. Then you have to visualize yourself writing those books. That means whatever house, if you want a better house, if you want a car, you need to be clear. How many bedrooms with this house? Do I want a space, a parking space? How many? Do I want how many bedrooms? Where do I need to be located? A business. Who do I want my customers to be? So that you write that goal down. And before you sleep, you just write it on a business card, just on the back. And like this or something better, you write your goals down. And before you sleep, you just read that goal, because one of the greatest assets human beings have is that your subconscious mind doesn't go to sleep. So if you read something at night, then you give it work so that it goes to explore for you when you're still sleeping, so that when you wake up with new insight that are going to help you be able to achieve that. And when you wake up the same in the morning, you do the same. You read your goals, and you'll be more effective in whatever you'll be doing. So visualizing gives you a shortcut to achieving your goals, because your dream becomes more clear.
Okay, well said. Now, when it comes to being on a realistic path, most of the times we dream so big that some of the things we're dreaming about are very unrealistic. Like, let's say I just want to be a basketball coach all the way in the States, but right at home, I've not even started practicing how to play basketball. I don't know where to start, but I have this dream of this big huge thing, which is fine. We're all allowed to dream in whatever capacity, but there's that thing about realistic, you know, being realistic rather. How do we keep ourselves in our scopes so that we, despite the fact that we can dream big however much we want, but we're at a place where we are within our parameters, working towards that big achievement? How do we do that?
One of the things I find is that the difference between a skill and a dream is one. A dream or talent. Skill is something that you run. It's something that you have to project your mind and program yourself for. But talent is seeking expression through you. One of the things, to be realistic in your goal, you need to find what is the little thing that I can do today, because I say, have dream big, but make sure that you divide that dream into very small segments, that which by accomplishing, you know, I have 100, my dream is achieving, let's say, 100. Then can you be able to divide that 100 into 100 pieces or 100 segments, so that at the end of the day, you know, I want to be a basket, so let me go and buy a basketball. Then let me teach the kids who are walking there in the street. Then the next day you say, REMMY for who is the top or the best basketball coach, and then from there we are going to have tip. Then how many books has been written about basket, because you are upgrading yourself, you are making clear in your mind about the kind of the person that you want, and you're separating yourself from what the world say you can't do, and purposing yourself to what you want to do and what you want to be in future, because you are clear in your mind and you know your path, you know where you're going with clarity. Because the moment you know that, then you become a power, and you become someone that you would have for so long desired to be.
Very inspiring. Now, it costs a lot to rather achieve what we want to achieve. Like you said, you need to break down this dream into realistic bits, and you achieve this small thing, then you achieve the next, and finally, voila, you're who you are, right?
Yeah.
So how do we keep ourselves on that path where we remain focused throughout? Because there are many distractions, there are many discouragements, and there are many people, like you said, who tell you you can do A, B, C, D. So, but you know where you want to be. So how do you keep that focus?
One of the things you keep focus is that in this life we say 90% we have control over what happens, but 10% we don't have control. That means there are people who are going to speak ill about you pursuing your dream. When you open a business, people are going to say, you can't do it, I told you, and they're waiting to see you fail. But one of the things is that you must accept the inevitable. The things that you can't control, when you accept them, becomes an opportunity to you, because I've always find myself more motivated when people say that I couldn't do, because I went around and say, let me prove to them I can do it. And the moment you do it, there is so much happiness and inspiration that comes. You just feel more energized. So one of the things is, when this distraction comes, accept them and they become an opportunity. Because when inevitable happens and you don't accept it, then it becomes a frustration and a despair. So instead of pursuing to your dream, you go astray and you make them winners, because they say you couldn't do it, you kept on thinking you can't do it, and when you meet an inevitable, something that you couldn't control, that wasn't within your reach, and you don't accept it, then becomes a frustration. But when you are ready in your path, and when these things inevitable comes, things that you can't control, even when they happen, then they become more opportunity, creates an energy, and you're able to grow in that field and become better.
Okay. Now, again, in our paths, like I mentioned earlier, we get support from our family, from our friends, and it's very important, especially when you're trying to achieve this thing, whatever it is that you want to achieve, you know, personally. But you find our paths, there are these distractions which are very key to keep away from. Like, they're just those things you need to really stay away from, apart from people telling you you can't, or, you know, people just basically bullying you to not achieving what you want and making you feel down. Those basic things you're supposed to keep away from, what are they?
Those are the things that keep distracting you. There will be someone, let's say your family will find that they are the first who are reject. Say you can't do it. No one has ever done it. Like I remember, like when I was starting to write, in my family, no one knew about anything about writing. They want only become a businessman because they are in business. So, but at the end of the day, you have to make a choice in your life. Who do you want to be? And you're not struggling to be because already the potential is within. So it's actually now realizing the little distraction and noting them and knowing that you are better than what they say, because at the end of the day, you're the one who make the final conclusion of what you're going to stay with.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's the most important. No matter what everyone says about you, no matter what the whole world says about you, the final conclusion is about you as an individual. What you say about yourself, that's what becomes your reality. So other people's opinion should not become your reality and should not become your fact. But you, what is driving you should be the final thing that you say about your life.
Okay. And when it comes to, you know, this life, anything can happen. You're on your way one day and something happens, God forbid you get knocked by a car, you can't walk anymore. And you had big dreams. Let's say if it's a young lady, she wants to be a model, she can't walk anymore. You know, and things just happen that pull you from your path of getting to where you want to be. So how do you deal with such things which just come? You know, I mean, this is life. Things do happen. You don't plan for some things. Unfortunately, they happen. How do you advise someone to get back on the track and still pursue and become what they want to be?
There is one of the things that you find. Let's say you wanted to be a model, and then by accident you get knocked and you are told you can't walk again.
You can't do the catwalk anymore, but you have the beautiful height.
You have the beautiful height. But maybe God wanted you to be a trainer for models. Who knows? One of the things we doesn't realize is that we only focus on our dream very shallow. We don't see the clear image part of it. God wanted you to be not just a model. He wanted you to be trainer for models. So you have to see the opportunity and the dreams that you want to see in a bigger and divine way, so that at the end of the day you look things in a brighter way, because maybe God wanted you to be teacher for models, to be the one teaching them how to do it. And the moment they become, I say, in life one of the things you realize is not how many battles we win that make us to be happy when you're dying. It's how many battles did we make others win. That is the treasure that remains in us. So we must be open and open our mind enough so that we may be able to see things in a bigger and dynamic way.
Okay. Now, when it comes to teenagers, you'll find that most of them, I remember when I was a teenager, there's that phase you just want to have fun. You just want to go out and, you know, see the world and meet people and just discover who am I, you know, and the serious things you want to put them aside a bit. But of course, teenagers are different. Some of them will focus on books, but you find the majority and all the peer pressure going on, you'll find that they get dissuaded. There's just that thing, you just want to have fun, and everything that is serious is a bit boring, and anyone who tries to shove it down your throat is actually boring. So how would you encourage a teenager who is fine, they do want to have fun, but there's this thing that they feel that they need to achieve more? How do you make them tap in that part of themselves where they can start achieving, you know, their dreams from, like, they're very young. Like, let's say, let me give you an example of the group Camp Mula. They're very young, you know, the young people, and right now they've been nominated for a BET award. It's an example of people who, despite them being young, I mean, they're achieving big things, and you can find many other young teenagers are trying to get that, but it's hard for them. How do you encourage a teenager to actually get on that path?
The key to success, if you want to succeed in anything, even as a teenager, no matter how young you are, is self-discipline. And I say, the definition I give for self-discipline, I say, is your ability to do the things that you should do,
yes,
when you should do it, whether you feel you like it or not. As a teenager, there is much peer pressure. Your friends want to do like everybody. As we are saying, conformity. Peer pressure makes you to conform. Want you to be, if there is a Nike coming out, everyone is wearing Nike, you want to wear Nike. At the end of the day, you know, buying this Nike won't help you to pursue your dream. There is maybe a book that you wanted to buy.
But you should buy that book.
So because you're not self-disciplined enough, you're controlled by your friends, then you end up losing, not knowing where do their friends get money from. And at the end of the day is what do you have? You can count it yourself. So as a youth, one of the things that you should learn as a teenager is self-discipline, because self-discipline is the key to success, because without it you lose. Because there's something, whether you like it or not, meaning that you must pursue, because we say success is you must upgrade yourself as a continuity. You cannot stop and say I am successful. Even if you win that award, there is certain energy that comes, you want to have more. So that means you have to stick to running. If it's dancing, then that means you have to keep dancing. Even if your friends are going out, you have to sacrifice that time and be with your trainer.
And be the best dancer ever.
And be the best dancer ever. So you must make sure that you are progressive, you're succeeding, and in your practicing, you're becoming better, and you're doing something that you want to do, so that at the end of the day, my grandfather told me, when you be old, what you eat is what you made when you was young.
Okay. Now, when it comes to education, which big part does it which big part does it play, rather, in creating that greatness in us?
One of the key things is that our education curriculum, which I can say is that we don't actually realize the main theme or the main goal of education, because education should make your mind to open. It should make you realize that there is so many things that you can do, and one of the things you find, you must be educated. Because someone said that illiteracy of 21st century will be not only be those who can read and write, it will be those who can't read, reread, and unread, and read again. So you must make sure that you are reading something that is making sure that you are going to be better today and better tomorrow than you are yesterday. So that means we need to actually find what is the purpose of education. Are we becoming better each and every day that we run? And at the end of the day, it's not just about formal education. We must run these self-help books that help us to be better and feel that we are better, we are becoming better each and every day, and in every way, in everything that we are doing.
Okay. Now, we're in June, and there's some people who may be feeling like things, the way they plan them, it's not going in accordance. They feel like they're left behind, and people are way ahead, and we're almost reaching towards the end of the year, and they've not accomplished, let's say, even a bit of what they had planned for in January, and they're thinking, it's June, December is coming up, I'm stuck. What would you advise such a person?
There is what we call, there is New Year fever. And one of the New Year fever is that everyone wants to achieve everything. You write so many goals. Someone say, write goals that you want to accomplish this year. But what happens, you find that you still go back to the 96% of the those that you think about them day in, day out, and you find it's June, so let me wait for next year. No. You must make sure that from today, you just find what is the goal, what is the most rewarding goal. From the goals that you've written, what is the most rewarding goal that if you just accomplish one, then it's going to inspire you to accomplish the other written one that you had written. So it's not too late to start. You can start now, no matter how your age is. You can just start now and know that if I just accomplish this goal, then it's going to give me an inspiration that is going to make me feel I'm better enough, so that I can be, if I have achieved this, then I can achieve others.
Okay.
So you must find which is the most important goal and which is the most rewarding goal that I wanted to accomplish, and from today start with it. How many people do you know in that field that you want to be? If it's a business, how many people do you know who are best in that field? Go and have a coffee with them, go have lunch with them, visit them, be a volunteer in what they are doing, and make sure that you run something. Create friends who are in that field that you want to be in tomorrow. Run from them. Go to the internet, go to the Google, read about their stories, how did they start, and from that you're going to have power and you'll be able to easily accomplish that one goal that is going to, before you reach December, you'll find that you have even achieved all your goals. So
funny enough, and funny enough, and while you might have been thinking you have such little time, and if you just focus, you'll actually achieve everything between June and December. Now, when it comes to success, there's a mindset for success, right? How do we develop that?
A mindset for success, because I say people who go to get money, they lose money.
Yes.
But people who go in business to serve other people, to help other people, to add value to other people's life, then they tend to find that more money is coming to them and is making them happy. So the mindset for success.
So is it something like an attraction? Because like you said, some people go out to make that money, which they don't really get. And the people who don't even struggle to make it, it just comes flowing in.
Money just comes so fast. Napoleon here in his book, Think and Grow Rich, he say, when money starts to come, it comes so fast that you wonder what it has been hiding from. Because I say, you must build your within, because that's why your content that determines what are you going to attract. Because the greatest cause we have, which is the making us to be a failure, is poverty conscious, failure conscious. We all succeed, but this success has two directions. You're either succeeding in failing or succeeding in being a success. But not because they have fed up their mind with the wrong things. So their mind is full of poverty ideas that makes them...
What are these poverty ideas?
I cannot do it. I cannot do it. I'm not educated enough. No one has ever made it in a family. All my friends say I can't do it. That is the poverty conscious, because you lose yourself. Your self-esteem is low in the first case. So that means you are going to succeed, yes, but you're succeeding in failing, because the more things that you do, the more things that you try, the worse it is for you. But if you make sure that each and every action that you do each and every day, and you upgrade and is your best, is effective and efficient, then that means the more things that you do, the better it is for you. Because I say each and every day is a success, or each and every day is a failure. But what matters is how do you do the little things that are assigned to you. If you do them in the right way, then that means the more and better things that you do, the better it will be for you.
Okay. Now, in your book, you've mentioned great names like Albert Einstein, Napoleon. What do you want people to get from these examples of these people you've mentioned in your book?
The people I've mentioned in my book is the people I've appreciated, the people who made me realize that. So this is true. Even them, they knew about it. So it's creating affirmation that even though they lived so many years ago and are the people that the world admires, there is something that the world doesn't know, which they said or wrote about. But people see it. They say, I'm a scientist. I just want to be a scientist like Albert Einstein. But they don't know what did Einstein say about the other part of life, which was apart from science. Napoleon, he talked about success, but there is other part he talked about success. You find there is other part he talked about